How many people do you know who struggle with their health? Chances are, whether they show it or not, most of the people in your life do. And chances are, you're one of them. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, endometriosis, acne, eczema, autoimmune, thyroid, Lyme, brain fog, fatigue, or any other symptom or condition, you're far from alone. Living with symptoms has become the new normal. So no more guessing games. It's time to get answers. Welcome to the Medical Medium Podcast. I'm Anthony William. We're talking about the health movement and how it's still not geared to the chronically ill. And what's offered out there and what's popular is still not geared to the chronically ill. Creatine, L-carnitine, pearl powder, collagen, colostrum doesn't do anything for anyone who's really battling a chronic illness, a sickness, a symptom, or a condition. Sodium bicarbonate, turpentine oil, whey protein powder, mushroom coffee with caffeine still doesn't help someone with chronic illness, somebody with neurological disorders, somebody suffering from neurological symptoms, somebody suffering with cancer, still doesn't help them. It goes on and on and on. Cod liver oil, diatomaceous earth particles, activated charcoal, bentonite clay and other clays, desiccated animal organs and glandular supplements, singled out chlorophyll, and electrolyte powders and beverages still won't move the needle when somebody has mystery chronic illness, when they've been to a host of doctors and practitioners and they can't get the answers they need, or the answers aren't getting them better either way. But the list is endless out there. Fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, humic minerals, shilajit, maca root, plant protein powders, probiotics, zeolites, and so much more. Won't stop fatigue, chronic fatigue, aches and pains, trigeminal neuralgia, tingles and numbness, tinnitus, vertigo, UTIs, bladder infections, kidney infections, endometriosis, fibroids, eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, rosacea, migraines, panic attacks, anxiety, depression, and hundreds of other symptoms. None of that will touch any of that. None of that stuff will move the needle. And that's not an exhausted list. And let's not forget weight loss drugs. Instead, those help to create chronic illness in the end. Get ready for this show. Fasten your seatbelts. I would strap yourself in. We're going to talk about what does and doesn't matter, because everybody deserves a chance when they get sick to heal. And that's the whole point. Everybody deserves a chance to heal. But that chance gets squandered, thrown away for a lot of people. Years can go by, and setbacks can occur. Till this day, celery juice is helping people worldwide who know about it and understand what it's really doing for them. But other people with chronic illness that haven't been educated about celery juice, haven't learned about it, will most likely never use it because it's sabotaged by jealous health industry people that can't make any money off of it. Celery farms love it, but people in the industry, the health industry, they don't care about it. They'll tell people don't do it because it gets in their way to sell their crap. They'll tell sick people don't try celery juice. And they'll do everything they can to actually push people away from the things that work. And celery juice is just one example out of dozens. Chances to heal get robbed by what has become a really thirsty, hungry, evil industry. When I say evil industry, you must be thinking about pharmaceutical industry or the conventional medical industry. Sure, that has its problems, and that used to be the big evil entity. But things are changing, and the alternative world of health and healing has changed. And not just changed, it has become virtually one with the conventional model. It may not share the same beliefs, but it shares the big money grab, and it shares the understanding that it's not about getting people entirely better, at least people with chronic mystery illness. It's more about just servicing the people who haven't become sick yet. Servicing them because the people who have gotten sick don't get better with what they offer. And that means people with chronic illness with all kinds of different symptoms, ranging from 5 symptoms to 100 symptoms, complicated ones that are mysterious, don't get serviced by the industries, both the conventional one very well or the alternative one very well. And what they sell them doesn't fix them, so then they lose interest in them unless they still buy their shit that doesn't work and isn't fixing them. So basically, for an example, you get sick, you got a bunch of mysterious symptoms, you've been to a lot of doctors, you're not getting the answers you need, or the answers you're getting aren't fixing you. What you're trying out isn't working. You go to the alternative market, you see all these different trends. You're not going to try celery juice because there's no money in it for anybody out there. Instead, the person's going to see something else out there that's not going to help them, but it's being put in front of their face every second because there's a bunch of money behind it, like creatine or whey protein powder or collagen. And it's not going to work because it's not there to actually fix a neurological condition or 10 of your symptoms. Instead, those products are backed by false promises for people who aren't really that sick or sick at all. A claim that it can build your collagen and make you look better, a claim that you can build more muscles or gain some longevity. But since it's put in front of everybody's face out there because there's so much money behind it, a chronically ill person comes along and says, oh, I need that, buys it, they're happy they bought it, they use it, it doesn't fix them because it's not geared to chronic illness. It's not geared to all the different symptoms. And then guess what? We're back at square one. And the industry doesn't have the chronically ill people's back. But the crazy thing is that everybody gets sick in the end, some way, somehow, no matter what. It all depends on when in their life, what year, what decade, but they're going to get sick. And maybe if they've been pretty healthy and they've been lucky and they skated by in their 20s and their 30s, something's going to hit them in their 40s. And they're going to realize that that creatine isn't saving their life or saving them from anything, or that L-carnitine or that collagen or that colostrum, and it's not fixing them, and that methylene blue didn't save them. There's another thing that changed recently in the industry, and it's the mimicking of the chronically ill. Influencers mimicking the chronically ill symptoms and conditions as if they have the same ones. Impostoring the chronically ill. Influencers becoming imposters to try to talk and speak to the chronically ill as if they have what they have or had what they have when they didn't, so they can sell all of their shit. Influencers with a little weight gain or a little bloating at one point in their life, or a little bit of fatigue from over partying and over vacationing, realize if they embellish what they've gone through, it becomes a catfish trap or bait on a hook. This way, someone who's really sick, has a lot more symptoms, more serious problems, will see the influencers and be like, whoa, it helped them. Let me go buy this methylene blue now. Let me go get this creatine, this collagen, this colostrum, this diatomaceous earth, this zeolite, this gut powder blend, this parasite formula, this cod liver oil, and this pearl powder. And who cares? Well, it kind of works like this. It's not about letting people know what really works these days. That's not what it is. Because in the end, who cares? People do what they're going to do. They're going to want to do what they're going to do. They're going to ebb and flow, go up and down, depending how really sick they are. The goal is just take advantage while you can. And that's how the industry is built now. Don't get me wrong. There's good people out there. There's people that care. There's people that got compassion. There's good doctors out there. There's good practitioners out there. There's still some good people in the natural health movement. And there's good people in the conventional health movement. But there's also a lot of dragons with big bank behind them. And they swoop in and they overpower the good people, so the chronically ill get less of a chance to see the lights and get what they need to heal and find the truth and know how to learn, what to avoid, what to look out for, and how to heal. It's just a fact, Jack, and a sad one. And maybe none of this applies to you, but it could someday. It could apply to you someday. The thing is, this is about healing the chronically ill and mystery chronic illness and mystery symptoms and conditions. And it's about having the back of the chronically ill. And the reality of it all, the industries out there, they just care about weight loss and muscle building. You want to lose weight? Cut some of the fat out of your diet. You want to build muscle? Use them. Get in the gym or find some other way to use them. Weight loss and muscle building for a non-sick person or a not-so-sick person takes commitment, some dedication, back down the indulgements, get into the gym, and you start seeing the transformation. And that's the simplified version. And if you're a trainer or somebody and you're listening to this and you're saying, look, he doesn't know anything about bodybuilding, he doesn't know anything about losing weight, check out the Medical Medium book series first before you make that judgment call. I know there's a lot of techniques. I know there's a lot of strategies. And by all means, not everybody's the same or at the same place with their starting point. But chronic illness, being chronically sick, having mystery symptoms, whether they're identified with a condition, a name, or not a name, is a whole nother world. Me personally, I'm not sick. I can cut back on my food consumption. I can go into the gym and work out for a couple of hours if I wanted to. I can bike. I can run. I can lift weights. I could do resistance training if I chose. But it's different when you're chronically sick. Much different. It's not that easy. Some people can't even take a shower without having to lay down for an hour afterwards. Some people can't drive a car anymore. They can't work. They can't function. Their brain fog is so bad. They have anxiety attacks in their car. They have doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment. They don't feel good. They have chronic fatigue. Their legs feel like there's sandbags attached to them. Or they're breaking out with hives every minute. Or they're hit with chronic debilitating migraines. And they're in a tough place. They're on Mattress Island for 20 hours a day. A long recovery awaits them. They got to be doing the right things, but people wouldn't know that out there. The industry's not built for that. Instead, some dragon will push an ad in front of their face on social saying how don't drink celery juice in a really persuasive way that may call the shots for that person's future, where they'll never try it. Let's face it, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Period. When somebody first gets sick, and it's serious, it's in their way, it's impeding the quality of their life, and they've already gone through the conventional system, which nowadays is kind of like a blend of conventional medicine and alternative medicine. A lot of conventional medicine clinics have natural medicine too now. It's a blend of both. But either way, they hit a wall. They tried a lot of things. They can't get better. Their symptoms are still there. They start struggling more. They're wondering what happened to their body. They think their body let them down, and they have no real answers. What usually gets thrown at them along the way is they need protein. They're protein deficient. It's kind of a starting point that occurs. Confuses them because they've been getting enough protein throughout their whole life. They've been getting protein every single day. A huge mistake in the industry. Or depending on which way the wind blows, they might get told they need to drink more water. Maybe that's the problem. So they start drinking more water. The water doesn't make them feel good. It's not shifting anything. It's not changing anything. So then the wind blows the opposite direction for the moment. And now they're told they have no salt in their water. So now they're dousing their water with pinches of salt. And sometimes even teaspoons of salt. They might do pink salt. They might do some kind of Himalayan rock salt. Some sea salt. But they're told their whole problem is electrolytes. They're not getting enough salt in their water or enough salt in their diet. After trying all the salt tricks, they get sicker. They don't feel good. So the wind blows another direction. They're told it's all their microbiome and they need the right probiotics. So now it's on to the probiotic mission. How to get more quality probiotics inside your gut to fix all your problems, make everything go away. Over time, it's not working. They see it's not working. They've already tried a few different things, and now the wind blows another direction. They're told their symptoms sound like Lyme disease. So now it's off to a Lyme doctor that's quickly going to sell the person Lyme disease. They run the labs, they draw lots and lots of blood, run the labs, draw lots and lots of blood, tell them they got all the Lyme bacteria, all the markers. So now they're in the Lyme trap. Lots of antibiotics, lots of doxycycline, more antibiotics, a different antibiotic, now a different antibiotic, still sick, draw more blood, still sick, draw more blood. Now it's either leave the Lyme trap, head off to another land, or stay in it until it brings you down. The longer you stay in Lyme land, the longer you get sick and get sicker. It's happened to hundreds of thousands of people. If they escape Lyme trap land, and they're still alive, they're still hanging in there, then any random so-called cure can run across their path. They hear about chlorine dioxide. It kills everything inside of you. It kills parasites. You're sick because of parasites. That's what they're told. Now you're running bleach into your system in hopes that you're killing something that nobody really has their finger on. It's just all hearsay. Parasites must be your problem. Keep on upping your bleach, chlorine dioxide, and you just get sicker. Problem doesn't go away. Nothing's healing. All your neurological symptoms are still there. Nothing got better. Then you're waiting for something else to run across your path. Now you're hearing you're not alkaline enough, and you have to get alkaline. So you start downing the sodium bicarbonate. So many people have done that. They've gotten really ill from it, but they try it. Pouring in the sodium bicarbonate every single day, trying to get their intestinal tract and body alkaline. It doesn't get them alkaline. They don't know that. They get sicker and sicker until they stop. The wind blows again. Well, if you want to get alkaline, you need the alkaline ionizer water machine. So now they pop for $5,000. They get the water machine. They got the electric plates in the water machine, the metal plates. They're getting heavy metal poisoning or toxic metal poisoning every single day. They drink the water. It's dead water, killed by electricity. They don't get better over time. They don't see the results. They're getting sicker. They still have neurological problems and neurological symptoms. They eventually retire the machine into the closet. Then the wind can blow from any direction. They can be back on collagen, trying to build their collagen. They could be back on something else like maca root or even charcoal, and maybe even a zeolite that doesn't work. Eventually, leading them right up to something like colostrum, what people think is the panacea, the holy grail. But it's not. It just feeds the very thing behind their illness. It actually supports their illness in a toxic way. The very pathogens behind people's sicknesses and illnesses, the viruses, and even the bacteria, would love to feed on dairy. And they would love to feed on colostrum, and they do. It is bad. Then, diatomaceous earth particles. They might hear something about those and venture into that. But they don't realize people have lost their lives because of diatomaceous earth just by sprinkling it on their couch and breathing it in every day. It's an immune system breaker downer. It's just as bad as having mold in the house, maybe even worse. And that takes it to the next level. People being told they have mold in their house, and that's why they're really sick. But what they don't understand is mold is the immune system dropper, but yet not the true cause of why they are truly sick. Mold drops the immune system, and then whatever's festering inside of them ignites and proliferates like an Epstein-Barr, a cyto, an HSV-1, a shingles, and then it takes over. And they think the mold is making them sick. Meanwhile, somebody else in the same household isn't sick at all and has no symptoms because it hasn't ignited or dropped their immune system enough to ignite their problem. Or maybe they don't have a bug or a pathogen or a virus waiting for something to actually drop the immune system. But they move out. They run from the mold. They try to get it cleaned out of the house. All good things. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Staying away from the mold is important. It's lowering the immune system. But a year later, because they haven't got the help they needed to heal what was really causing the problem deep down inside, they still think it's the mold inside their system. It never left. A year later, they're away from the mold. They're not in the same location. They moved. They had it removed. They had it cleaned up. But they're still really sick. And being really sick and it not going away, they just run into some different practitioners or people that believe the mold is still living inside of them. And that's the whole reason why they're sick. But it's not. They got something else happening. Pathogens that took advantage of a lowered immune system. This scenario can go on and on and on. And it does for a lot of people who are chronically sick, chronically ill. This can go on for years, decades, and they can circulate and go around and around and around musical chairs. Now they're back on shilajit. Now they're back on fulvic minerals. Now they're back on charcoal. Now they're back on krill oil. Now they're back on creatine, whey protein powder, bentonite clay, herbal tinctures with alcohol in them, which cancels out any good they're doing for someone. Now they're low carb again. Now they're keto. Now they're carnivore again, or doing plant-based the wrong way. Their weight could be going up and down, or they're so sick they can't put weight on at all. And the influencers, the dealers, most of the product makers, the social media doctors that never worked on patients before,
The health coaches and the dietitians that just got their degree, or the ones that had their degrees for years but never understood a single chronically ill patient or person or client, and around and around and around it goes. Where it lands, nobody knows. A path forward is hard when you get sick, and I've seen it out there for well over 3 decades. Chronic illness wasn't even a word in the health movement, wasn't even a real term. Many years ago, they called it just illness, sickness, disease. They didn't even use the term mystery chronic illness. They used the term mystery illness. Why does this even matter? Because people who were chronically ill back then weren't respected, and they still really aren't respected now. The health movement of today does not truly respect the chronically ill. And I'm not saying every single doctor and every single practitioner and every single healer, but we're still not where we need to be. But in the medical medium healing world, there are answers for so many different symptoms and conditions. Learning why you're sick is critical. Learning if it's mercury and aluminum. Mercury, aluminum, copper, cadmium, arsenic, lead, nickel. Learning if you have toxic heavy metals. Learning about these toxic metals in your system, in your body, in your liver, in your organs, in your spleen, in your brain. Learning how to get these toxic heavy metals out. Something that works. Something that has a track record of getting rid of those metals. Something that has the street cred of so many people getting their lives better, getting out of wheelchairs. Learning about the pathogens behind your illness, behind your fibromyalgia, behind your Lyme disease, your RA, your psoriatic arthritis, your eczema, psoriasis, your MS, or behind all your vagus nerve problems, the neurological symptoms. Important to know how it works with HCl, how it diminishes in the gut to such a point nothing can digest properly. Proteins don't digest properly and they putrefy. Fats don't break down properly and disperse, and they go rancid and they harden and they sit on the sides of the intestinal tract. Protecting bad bacteria for decades. Learning how to produce your own B12 inside your gut. The ileum, where B12 is produced, and how elevated biotics create that, and they come from natural sources from what you eat. Learning how pathogens like Epstein-Barr could be behind so many neurological symptoms. And it's behind thyroid problems, Hashimoto's, hypothyroid, hyperthyroid. Learning how to keep fats out of your diet in the morning, overt fats, by keeping them out of your diet until 12 o'clock or on, so that you give your liver a chance to breathe, to give it a chance to heal and breathe and take out the garbage. How to build up your immune system properly, using the right kind of zinc, so your white blood cells can get the fuel they need to fight the pathogens. Discovering the reason why you're sick to begin with is because you have a compromised immune system, and the viruses and the bacteria such as strep are taking advantage. Learning what's behind acne and how strep causes acne, chronic sinusitis, lung problems, UTIs, bladder infections, kidney infections, yeast infections, PID, bacterial vaginosis, styes, conjunctivitis, various forms of strep throat or sore throats, and intestinal inflammation, and much more. Learning how toxic heavy metals corrode, leach and gas out, and outpocket, where the debris from those toxic heavy metals runs off into other tissue, other neurons, causing more problems. Short-circuiting neurotransmitters, electrical impulses, and neurons, causing brain fog, forgetfulness, memory problems, dementia, and Alzheimer's. Learning how you can heal ALS. You can heal multiple sclerosis. And it's not autoimmune where your body's attacking itself or destroying itself. It's pathogens, such as Epstein-Barr and other viruses. And what about all the different facial pain from facial nerves? What about the trigeminal neuralgia, tooth pain, tongue pain, gum pain, burning in the mouth, face pain, neck pain, tingles and numbness on the face, the jaw, the nose? All from viruses such as the shingles and HSV1. Vagus nerve problems such as tightness of the chest, tightness of the throat, constant nervousness in the stomach, constant butterflies, spasms, random pains in the neck, the face, the shoulders, vagus nerves that are inflamed, allergic to neurotoxins coming from viruses like Epstein-Barr. And then tinnitus, popping, humming, buzzing in the ears, ringing in the ears, real answers for those, dizziness, balance issues, vertigo, and Meniere's disease. They always said that stones were in the ears, and that's why women were suffering with Meniere's disease, vertigo. It was never stones in the ears. It was viral inflammation. Advanced leading information from Medical Medium. And then how important it is, and how important it always has been to bring in fruit into the diet, antioxidants, vitamin C, and leafy greens as well. How critical it is to use the proper leafy greens, like leafy green herbs, parsley, cilantro, and arugula. How electrolytes from celery juice is so much different than electrolyte processed powders and electrolyte processed beverages. How to restore the liver so bile production increases so you can break down fats. How lowering your fats in your diet is critical so that your blood sugar can stabilize, you don't get insulin resistance, and nutrients such as glucose and trace minerals can enter into cells. And how glucose, sugar, is the freeway, the highway into cells, bringing nutrients throughout the body. How the true cause of chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, and chronic fatigue are viruses, and how Medical Medium published information first on chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, RA, Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, and so many more, including Hashimoto's thyroiditis. The Epstein-Barr virus is the cause of multiple sclerosis. Having answers for chronic illness is critical for the person who's suffering and struggling. Aches and pains, tingles and numbness, body pain, back pain, neck pain, trigeminal neuralgia, pain in your mouth, your tongue, your gums, burning sensations, pudendal nerve pain, tics, spasms, twitches, headaches, migraines, dizziness, balance issues, vertigo, tinnitus, tremors, vibrational sensations all through the body, insomnia, restless leg syndrome, mysterious AFib, heart palps, brain fog, memory loss, anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and it goes on and on. Information to why these things happen, to what causes them, how the body breaks down, what causes it, and how to rebuild. Medical Medium information is there. And although so much has been poached over the years, it's been thrown and mixed in with a bunch of stuff that doesn't help a lot of people. And you can be a dabbler with the Medical Medium protocols. Maybe you're somebody that's just starting with 4 ounces of celery juice, and that's fine. But remember, there's the liver rescue salad, the liver rescue smoothie, there's a heavy metal detox, the mono cleanses, the 369s, the 28-day cleanse, the Medical Medium morning cleanse, the brain shot therapies, the Medical Medium shock therapies, the symptom and condition protocols, and the endless amounts of information on how to heal. It's here for you. Take 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, and remember what I've always said. 3 steps forward, and then you take the 2 steps back, 3 steps forward again, and you keep on getting ahead until it happens faster and faster, and the healing hits, and you feel it, and it rushes through your veins, and you know you're healing, and your faith increases, and your hope, and you know you're moving forward. It's like no other out there for mystery chronic illness. Not to mention on how to protect yourself, being careful, like the blood draw information and the exposure information. Hope you enjoyed the show. You can go to medicalmedium.com for free information all the time. No subscription fees. Hundreds of millions of people have visited medicalmedium.com and never paid a penny. They just got pure free information on how to heal. Check out the Medical Medium book series, Cleanse to Heal, the Brain Saver books, and check out Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools. Once you hear that, your mind's going to be blown. It's an original audio you can find on Amazon, Spotify. You can find me on IG, Telegram, Rumble, YouTube, and even on TikTok. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter so you can keep your finger on the pulse. Many blessings, and God bless you. Yeah, I just got back from the doctor's office. I'm in a coffee shop right now, and I got my computer out. I'm on some website, and I'm looking at neem oil. Like, did you ever hear, neem oil? And then, when I was at the doctor's office, he told me I need vitamin D. I've been on vitamin D. I've been sick for 5 years. 5 years. Probiotics, I've tried the probiotics. You know that. I told you that. I've been on the probiotics forever. Do you think I have a parasite? I mean, I've been down that road. Worms? Do you think I have worms? Like a big worm in me? What if I have like a big fat worm that's trying to eat my brain? My brain fog's so bad. My stomach doesn't feel that great. I just gotta get a hold of this thing. I need a grip. I tried that parasite formula already. I told you that. Yeah, I was in the bathroom crapping my brains out. And the stupid thing is I got sicker. I was sicker after it and stayed sicker. It took me like 2 months to recover from that. The customer service said it's all part of how to detox. I don't understand any of this anymore. Waiter, can you bring me a BLT? Yeah, well, please just skip the bread. Just no bread on the BLT. And skip the tomato. Just skip the bread and the tomato. And just bring me a piece of bacon. Okay, thanks. There is a way to heal. There is a way to stay above the sea of confusion. It's not just about avoiding food. It's about avoiding certain foods when you learn of what those foods do. Avoiding certain foods that feed pathogens, feed bugs, feed viruses and bacteria. People aren't chronically sick for decades because of parasites. They're chronically sick for decades because of pathogens and toxins. Many toxins, such as toxic heavy metals. And bugs love to feed on toxic heavy metals. Viruses like Epstein-Barr feed on mercury and then release a methylmercury neurotoxin. That neurotoxin swims around the body, gets into the brain, gets into the liver, gets on the nerves, gets on the vagus nerves, causes them to inflame. And that's when all the different neurological symptoms can start up. Symptoms people can suffer with for years and never get an answer. Viruses love to enter glands, like the thyroid, creating Hashimoto's. They love to inflame organs. They love to inflame nerves. When someone has any kind of illness at all, it means they have a compromised immune system. Something's wrong with their immune system. It needs help. It's been weakened. It's been beaten down or damaged. But you can restore an immune system properly. You can feed your immune cells the very things they need. Make them strong so they go after the bugs, the pathogens, so they clean up some of the toxins. When you become your own expert with the right information, you can become a master of your sickness. And you can learn how to strengthen your immune system, what to feed them, how to clean out the bugs, the viruses, the bacteria, how to restore your organs and your glands, and how to repair your nervous system. You can be an expert on how to recover yourself, regardless of any kind of illness. You can learn how to get the weight off or get the weight on if that's what you want. You can correct your blood sugar issues. You can right the wrongs that happen to your body. You can reverse time. It's not too late. It's never too late. See, I believe in you, and I know you can do it. You just have to learn the information. It's here. It's free. It's in your hands. You can truly heal and never forget it.
Original published medical medium information gets stolen and poached by podcast doctors, social media doctors, influencers, and medical clinics. Medical medium information has never yet been proven wrong by medical science and research. Instead, the opposite, only proven right and then taken from medical medium published material and used in the conventional and alternative health communities. Medical medium information continually sets the stage for medical science to understand chronic illness better. If you choose to share or use the original, unique content from the Medical Medium podcast, books, or Medical Medium social media, please cite where this information comes from, so others who see and learn of this information have a chance to know where it all originates, to give them an opportunity to heal, so they don't end up losing years of their life searching for answers like so many have before them. The Medical Medium information here on this podcast doesn't come from broken science, interest groups, medical funding with strings attached, botched research, lobbyists, internal kickbacks, persuaded belief systems, private panels of influencers, health field payoffs, trendy traps, or gathered bits and pieces of gimmicky confusion. Because chronic illness is exploding like never before in our modern day history, it takes a greater force than us down here. It takes a helping hand from above. Medical medium information has street cred. It's an organic movement of countless people around the world healing. More healing stories of real people not being paid to tell their life-changing experiences of rising out of the ashes of sickness and entering into the light of full recovery, getting their lives back and finally healing when nothing else in the world of health could move the needle and get them better. The information on this podcast is not man-made. It comes from above, from a higher source. Whatever you believe in, whether God, the universe, the light, or the creator, or if you believe in nothing at all, that we're just floating through space together on this rock. Know that the information you hear on this podcast is separate from all the other noise out there. It comes from a different place, a pure, untampered with, advanced, clean, uncorrupted, original, primary source, a higher source, spirit of compassion.